Based on current reports from major outlets and social media discussions, here's a roundup of the key news stories shaping the United States today. The focus is on politics, immigration, economy, and other major developments. I've prioritized verified and widely covered events for accuracy. Politics and government. Trump dismisses Epstein survivors' press conference as a Democrat hoax. President Trump responded to a Capitol Hill event where Jeffrey Epstein survivors and relatives urged the release of more case files, calling it a politically motivated fabrication. A bipartisan group in Congress is pushing the Epstein Files Transparency Act to force disclosure, with thousands of documents already released by a House committee. Trump also ruled out pardoning anyone involved and suggested survivors might compile an associate list themselves. This comes amid broader scrutiny of the Trump family's recent crypto ventures going public. Missouri lawmakers launch special session for redistricting. In a GOP-led effort to gain more U.S. House seats, Missouri's Republican-controlled legislature began a mid-decade redistricting process, the third such partisan push this year. Governor Mike Kehoe called the session to align maps with Trump's preferences, drawing criticism for undermining electoral fairness. Trump escalates battle over federal spending control. The administration is seeking Supreme Court intervention to preserve tariffs and expand executive authority, facing legal hurdles. This includes challenging congressional oversight, with Trump aiming to bypass traditional budget processes. Trump meets Poland's new president Karol Nawrocki. Amid discussions on U.S. military presence to deter Russia, the White House hosted Nawrocki with a dramatic flyover of American fighter jets, signaling strengthened NATO ties. Immigration and national security. U.S. military strike kills 11 on Venezuelan drug boat. More operations planned. In a controversial use of wartime powers under the Alien Enemies Act, the U.S. military targeted a vessel linked to drug trafficking, killing 11 alleged cartel members. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stated operations against narcotics traffickers won't stop, but critics, including former national security officials, argue it's reckless escalation from arrests to airstrikes. An appeals court separately rejected Trump's use of the act for deporting Venezuelan gang members, Tren de Aragua. Federal judge blocks Trump's National Guard deployment in California. A court ruled the president's use of troops to combat crime in Los Angeles illegal. Trump responded by highlighting Guard use in D.C. and announcing plans to send them to Chicago next. ICE tracking by citizens sparks legality debate. Activists are using real-time apps to warn migrants of ICE operations, prompting questions about whether this violates federal law. A judge temporarily blocked speedy deportations of interior migrants, and NGOs like the League of Women Voters are now barred from voter registration at naturalization ceremonies. Fired FTC commissioner reinstated. RFK Jr. faces HHS backlash. A U.S. appeals court restored the Democratic commissioner dismissed by Trump. Meanwhile, HHS employees are demanding RFK Jr.'s resignation, accusing him of compromising public health, especially after he limited the CDC's role to infectious diseases only. Economy and business. Holiday spending forecast shows steepest drop since pandemic. A PwC survey predicts the sharpest decline in U.S. consumer spending for the holidays since COVID-19, amid tight job market, inflation, and tariff uncertainties. Homeownership rates fell for the first time since 2016, exacerbating affordability concerns. Fed signals potential rate cuts. Governor Christopher Waller indicated multiple interest rate reductions could occur in the next 3 to 6 months to address economic slowdowns. Mortgage rates hit a 2025 low, boosting home equity loans but raising questions about timing. Trump's executive order ended the de minimis tariff loophole for low-value imports, impacting e-commerce like Amazon, where Prime signups are slowing. Trump moves Space Command to Alabama. After a battle with Colorado advocates from the Biden era, the headquarters will relocate to Huntsville, Alabama, fulfilling a long-standing Trump promise. California high-speed rail funding in jeopardy. Leaders claim lessons from past issues, but $4 billion in federal funds is tied up in court, threatening the project's future. Health and society. Scientists grapple with Alzheimer's risk genes. 3 researchers discovered they carry high-risk genes for the disease and are sharing strategies to mitigate it, highlighting personal and scientific challenges. Drug deaths at lowest since 2020, but fentanyl policies persist. Federal data shows a decline, yet Trump continues citing it for tariffs and immigration crackdowns. Separately, the ketamine queen linked to Matthew Perry's death is set to plead guilty. Vaccine hesitancy raises concerns for infectious diseases. Declining coverage for diseases like measles, once eradicated, is sparking worries about outbreaks. Other notable stories. Kilauea volcano erupts again in Hawaii. The 32nd episode since December features dramatic lava flows from the summit crater, with no immediate threats but ongoing monitoring. Powerball jackpot hits $1.3 billion. No winner in the Labor Day drawing pushes the prize to record levels, with a $634.3 million cash option. Cardi B cleared in assault lawsuit. A California jury dismissed allegations against the rapper in a high-profile case. Boeing crash settlement faces objections. A judge will hear challenges to a deal over the 737 MAX incidents. These stories reflect a mix of ongoing Trump administration actions, legal battles, and economic pressures. For real-time updates, check sources like NPR, Reuters, CNN, and PBS. Social media buzz on X, formerly Twitter, amplifies discussions around the Epstein files and military strikes, with users debating free speech and policy impacts.